You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. Thanks for joining us. It is playoff time in Kansas City. Finally, the Kansas City Chiefs take the field as they will square off with the Houston Texans. Coming up on today's show, I'll go over my 5 keys to victory. We'll break down the injury report, and I'll give you my prediction as well in just a matter of moments. The Chiefs, 7.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 42. The Chiefs coming off the bye week. The Texans had a very strong win this past week against the LA Chargers. We saw these two teams meet just a few weeks ago on December 21st, right before Christmas. The Chiefs had a very strong win. They were able to defeat the Houston Texans 27-19 in the last meeting, a game that was never really in question. The Chiefs played very well throughout the day, and they were able to get multiple turnovers off of Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud as well. If you're ready for Chiefs game day, I need you to spam C in the comments section. I want to see as many C's in the chat. If we get at least 300 C's in the comments, that guarantees victory. So I need everybody to do their part. Spam C, get the C's going. Jeremy Chuggs, host of Texans Today, said there's no way you guys can get 300 comments on today's video. I said, Jeremy, we're going to prove you wrong. Get in that comment section as if you're in your seats at Arrowhead Stadium. Be loud and proud. I need more comments than we've ever had on any video all season. Get those C's started, and we will continue here on the Chiefs Report. Let's go over the injury report for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is as of Tuesday's recording. Chris Jones with the calf injury, questionable. He seems like he's progressing nicely. All these players, according to Andy Reid, are at least on the right track for Saturday's matchup. Jawaan Taylor with the knee injury, he is questionable, as is Isiah Pacheco with the ribs injury. He remains questionable as well. 3 more players for you. Trent McDuffie with the knee injury is questionable. Chamarri Connor with a knee injury, also questionable. And then Jalen Watson coming back from injured reserve. They opened up the 21-day window on him. We did hear Andy Reid say that he could play in some capacity, potentially speaking, barring any setbacks this week. But for now, he remains questionable. 2 players on the injury report for the Houston Texans. Cade Stover is out for the year. He goes to injured reserve with a collarbone injury. While Shaq Mason with a knee MCL injury, the offensive guard, he is questionable for them as well. What's it going to take to defeat the Houston Texans? Let's start with the quarterback position for the Houston Texans. The Stroud boys, they're going to be in full force this weekend. And I think one of the things the Chiefs did such a good job of in this first matchup a couple weeks ago was forcing C.J. Stroud into mistakes. And I got to tell you, I like C.J. Stroud. I've been very impressed with what he's done in his first 2 seasons in the NFL. But his big weakness has been interceptions. And we've seen from C.J. Stroud this season, he's had 4 games with 2 or more interceptions. That's tied for second most in the National Football League. So what that tells me is that if you can get that first turnover, if you can get C.J. Stroud rattled a little bit, then there's a good chance that's going to lead into another turnover as well. Stroud did not play his best game the last time he went up against the Kansas City Chiefs. He was 23 of 39 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And C.J. Stroud, I'll say this, he really hasn't been the same guy this season as he was last season. Granted, they've had a lot of injuries, losing receivers left and right. We know what happened to Tank Dell in that Chiefs game a few weeks ago. Obviously, Stephon Diggs went out, and he's been gone for the season. But you look at the statistics, C.J. Stroud took a step back this year. Just 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, threw for over 3,700 yards, completion percentage around 63%. And when we talk about turnovers and forcing C.J. Stroud into mistakes, the Chiefs' defense has been really good as of late. You look back at what they did in the final 3 weeks of the regular season with the starters, weeks 15 through 17. They forced 10 total turnovers in that stretch. And you think about the weeks prior, forcing turnovers for this Chiefs defense was a big weakness. It was something we've heard from Nick Bolton and Spags and others really put a big emphasis on, that they needed to do a better job of creating turnovers, and it wasn't until the end of the season that we finally saw those results. Who do you got? I'll give you my prediction coming up later, but want to hear from you guys first. You going with the Chiefs, or are you going with the Texans? Type KC for Chiefs, type HOU for Houston. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know. We'll be live here on the Chiefs Report on Saturday for the Chiefs and Texans. Our coverage will begin at 2:30 Central Time. Kickoff at 3:30. We'll do our hour-long pregame show. We'll react to the game in real time, have some drinks on hand, enjoy ourselves. Don't miss out. Chiefs and Texans Divisional Round watch party live right here on the Chiefs Report. I'll be here. Big Tex will be here. You better be here as well. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and make sure and join us coming up this Saturday right here on the channel. One guy I'm watching for is Isiah Pacheco. We have not seen Isiah Pacheco look the same since he came back from injury, off of injured reserve, as he's shown a few flashes. We saw what he did in that Raiders game when he had the longest run of any running back this season, but hasn't quite looked like his old self. In the last couple of playoff runs, Pacheco has been a difference maker. We've seen this Chiefs offense establish the run to open up the passing game. Pacheco's been a big part of that. Look what he did last year in the playoffs. Ran for over 300 yards, had 3 touchdowns. He was really good in the postseason last year. But this year hasn't been a great year for Isiah Pacheco, as he's been limited to under 4 yards a carry, just 1 touchdown score, 310 yards. I'm expecting Isiah Pacheco to look like his old self. He's had plenty of rest to recover. I think Pacheco is going to show up and show out and be a difference maker for this Chiefs team, and they're going to win with their run game with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt as far as that goes. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered, including tickets to see your Kansas City Chiefs in action. Looking for tickets to that divisional round game? We got those for you, folks. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, get the visual, and then you're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. I have saved a lot of money on Game Time, folks, with the last-minute tickets. The prices go down the closer it gets to when that game starts. Game Time is focused, folks, on all the important stuff with Game Time. As you can believe, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on. They have their seat views. You get the visual, see what that seat is like. You can customize your spot as well. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Number 3 on our keys to victory, a big day from Chris Jones. We need the CEO of Sack Nation to step up and have a big day this past week. And you talk about the opportunity that Chris Jones has in front of him. C.J. Stroud has taken 52 sacks this season. That's the second most among all quarterbacks in the National Football League in 2024. And although Chris Jones' numbers, and we'll show you these here in just a bit, are down from what they've been in the past, Chris Jones has still been very effective. And you think about it, he's taken on more double teams than he has his entire career. In 2024, he's had 38 pressures. That's the 6th most of any player in the NFL and the 2nd most among interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. So far this season, what we've seen from Chris Jones, he's accounted for 5 total sacks, 1 forced fumble, 20 QB hits, 9 TFLs, and 37 tackles. I think Chris Jones has a big opportunity to shine in this matchup here against Houston to really get after him. But it's not Chris Jones. We need George Karlaftis. We need Charles Omenihu, those other guys, to really get the job done, get after C.J. Stroud. Do you believe in Chris Jones? Is the CEO of Sack Nation going to have a big day? Type B for believe, D for don't. Let us know in the comments section. Number 4 on our keys to victory, finding an X factor. I think it's going to be crucial for this Kansas City Chiefs team. Throughout the season, when we've had this conversation, we've talked a lot about Xavier Worthy. We've talked a lot about Noah Gray. And those guys, I can count on every week. They're no longer X factors. The definition for me of an X factor is a guy that necessarily isn't somebody that steps up every week, but when they do, they can be a difference maker. And there's 2 guys in particular that I'm watching for. That's DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown. And they're going to be competing amongst each other when it comes to targets and for playing time to see who should be on the field and who should be a bigger factor in the offense. And they both have reason to think that they should get that opportunity. DeAndre Hopkins, we've seen look very good this year. Had some big games against the Bucs, against the Raiders. And I think that we're going to get another big one in this playoff run, maybe 2, maybe all 3 potentially. Marquise Brown, when it comes to him, this is a guy that I think our thought is that he's a vertical threat. But so far in the 2 games he's played, he has done a very good job of being a good possession receiver, playing that Rashee Rice role of sorts, averaging 10 yards a reception off of 9 catches for 91 yards this season. And for DeAndre Hopkins, this game should be a little personal, playing against his former team there, the Houston Texans. And Andy Reid has his trust, his faith in DeAndre Hopkins as well. D-Hop said this about Andy Reid. Going up against those guys in Houston, they gave us some tough battles, so I'm always just admired him from afar. I haven't been here long, but Coach Reid has definitely pushed me as a player. He's always watching everything that you do, and you want to go out and be perfect. You'll not be perfect, but you want to try your best. There's a standard that he has, and you'll feel it in the locker room. I'm grateful to be here. I'm still taking it in. Who will be the Chiefs' X factor against the Houston Texans? We talked about a couple names. Who comes to mind? Weigh in the comments section. Give me a name that you would like to see step up for Kansas City this week. Last but not least on our keys to victory for the Chiefs is going to be the run defense and slowing down Joe Mixon. The former Oklahoma Sooner and Cincinnati Bengal has had a very good year with the Houston Texans this season. He has racked up a total of 8 100-yard-plus rushing games this season, including 106 yards this past week against the LA Chargers. And when you look at Joe Mixon, this guy is a threat in a multitude of ways. Not just the run game, but also the receiving game as well. He's had over 300 yards receiving this season, averaging 4.1 yards per carry, 12 total touchdowns. The Chiefs defense, they're going to need to do what they can to take away Joe Mixon and limit his impact because he has been very, very good, especially as they try to get C.J. Stroud settled in the toughest environment he's ever seen. The Chiefs' run defense this season, they are averaging, giving up about 102 rushing yards per game. That's 5th best in the NFL. So although this matchup jumps out at you of how good the Texans are at running the football with Joe Mixon, the run defense has been a strength for the Kansas City Chiefs, and you hope that continues again. To recap our keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1, force C.J. Stroud into mistakes. It'd be great if you could get an extra possession or 2 for that offense. We need the playoff version of Isiah Pacheco to show up and show out like we've seen in years past. Need a big day from Chris Jones, the CEO of Sack Nation. I want to see him get those pressures, get after C.J. Stroud. Find an X factor. Find a guy that we typically don't talk about every single week, whether it's a D-Hop, whether it's a Marquise Brown, somebody to have a big game. And then last on our list, slowing down Joe Mixon, try to limit his impact, need the run defense to step up, and the Chiefs to really show out there. My pick, I'm going with the Chiefs to get a touchdown win. I think they win this game 27-20. I think this game is close for 3 quarters, and then the Chiefs put the hammer down in the 4th quarter to get the win, 27-20, to advance to the AFC title game to take on the winner of the Ravens and the Bills. If you're ready for a Chiefs win, spam W in the comment section. Get those W's going, and we will see you on Saturday afternoon for Chiefs and Texans right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report.